Hey, 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 hey. It's your girl, Coach Candice J, your hair loss specialist. And today I am coming before you to share just some information on traction alopecia. But before I get into that, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about myself. Like I said, my name is Coach Candice J, and I'm a hair loss specialist. I am a licensed cosmetologist. I graduated from the Veda Institute in 2010, and I have been practicing as an independent stylist since. In 2018, which was last year, October, I decided to take up trichology, which was the study of hair loss in this disease, hair and the diseases and disorders. And the reasons why I chose to take up hair loss is because I had encountered so many people who was experiencing hair loss, also individuals who were experiencing dry scalp and tender scalp. So I wanted to know more about the cause and the solutions for hair loss. So with that being said, since I've been practicing in the salon, I have seen something that is very common, and it can be eliminated with just a few extra steps, just mindfulness, and that is traction alopecia. By definition, traction alopecia is gradual hair loss, and it's caused primarily by a pulling force on the hair being applied to the hair. A lot of times we see it around the hairlines, but it can be anywhere in the head, just depending on how what style you're wearing. If you're wearing braid protective styles, how you're wearing your braids, or if you're wearing ponytails, where you have your ponytails located and how tight you have those ponytails pulled. Three main places. Three main ways to experience traction alopecia, which we don't want to do, is tight braids, tight ponytails, and pigtails. But pigtails is essentially the same thing as ponytails, but that's just by definition. So now that we have addressed the causes of traction alopecia, I want to just address some solutions for it, because it can be avoided. I've been doing hair, like I said, since 2010 as a licensed cosmetologist, but I've been braiding hair far longer than I have been practicing. I got my braiding license at the age of 17. I didn't calculate the years, so I don't know how many years ago that was. But when I first started braiding, one of the things that my aunt that taught me how to braid taught me was to braid the hair and not the scalp. And I see that that is one of the biggest problems with clients who have experienced traction alopecia. Once they get their hair braided, those braids are so tight that they're pulling on the hairline. And I'll show you, if you just look right here, I'll just show you some videos. Some pictures of this alopecia, if you guys can see that. You see that? Where this client is experiencing hair loss right here in her hairline. It goes about 4 to 5 inches up usually, and it can go across the whole hairline, but usually it's right in the temple area, and it goes about 2 to 2.5 inches back. This is just one client. When I consulted with her, one of the causes of her hair loss was wearing crochet braids. She said she had been wearing crochet braids for about the last year, and she noticed that this is when she started to experience her hair loss. Then I have another client that came in who was just completely devastated and wanted to cut all of her hair off. She said she just couldn't take it. She was about in tears. I don't know if you can see that. I don't want to mess this up. Wrong button. I want to hit the contrast. That's a little bit better. Okay, so as you can see, this client is about the same. She's experiencing hair loss right in her temple area. She has about 4 inches up from her ear, and then again it's about 2 to 2.5 inches back. That particular client, she said that she had been wearing sew-ins for about 3 months, and she believed that the sew-in is what caused it, which I can almost certainly agree that the sew-in is probably what caused that. Now, it's not that sew-ins or weaves or braided protective styles are harmful to your hair, because that is not always the case. It's the technique that is being used when you are getting these styles done. So three things, that I want to make mention of that could help prevent hair loss in the temple traction alopecia just by making these minor adjustments. The first thing is braiding the hair. When you braid the hair, you want to make sure that your braids are not too tight. If you have braids and you start to, if you're getting your hair braided and it's too tight, first you want to let your stylist know that they're braiding too tight. If you have a stylist that is not willing to loosen up, and you know that it's pain that is bringing you much discomfort and you're going to have to take an Advil or aspirin, you don't need to be seeing that stylist. You need to find you another stylist. So if your braids are too tight, don't be afraid to let your stylist know. It's not supposed to be painful when you get your hair done. Although you may experience a little discomfort, but it shouldn't be much discomfort to the point to where your hair is pulling, you have white bumps around your hairline, or you can see the hair pulling as if somebody's playing tug of war with your edges, because they are very likely to pop. And once you start to see those little white bulbs on the end, it is very likely you are damaging your hair and you may experience permanent hair loss. So you want to be mindful of that. Also, when you're getting your sew-ins done, a lot of people don't like for their stylist to cut that track. They don't want their wefts cut, tracks or wefts cut, because the hair may shed a little bit more, the weave extensions may shed a little bit more, and people feel that they won't be able to reuse that hair. Well, what I have experienced, what I've noticed through experience, is that when you have those tracks going back and forth, you're folding the track using the folding method. Usually when those tracks are pulled too tight, it creates like a shoestring or a corset effect on the hairline, and it tends to pull the hairline back. So you just want to be mindful, stylists. If you are doing sew-ins, and you're using the fold method, you want to make sure that you're overextending that hair on that welt and then bringing it back so it's not applying too much force on the hairline. Or you want to make sure you're cutting the track, because it is very likely, again, to cause hair loss. And the last thing is clients wearing their hair pulled back in a ponytail. Now, we all know when you get a fresh do, you're feeling real cute. You're feeling yourself. You're like, oh, can't tell me nothing. But after about a week and a half, 2 weeks, those curls drop. The hair is a little bit flat. You need to wash. And so a lot of times people just revert to putting that hair back in a ponytail. It's okay to pull it back in a ponytail, but you don't want to pull it in a tight ponytail, to where it's pulling on the edges and creating additional force to the hairline. Or you don't want to leave it in a ponytail too long. You want to just pull it back to get it out of your way. And then, once you're done doing whatever it is you're doing, make sure you pull it down. You don't want to keep pulling that hair back. So those are the tips that I have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. This is a very sad epidemic that we are experiencing in the beauty industry all across the board. And it's like we're all contributing to the problem. So we just need to be mindful of the techniques that we use and the styles that we want. We need to give our hair a break, and we also need to treat our hair accordingly. There are some treatments that you can use. There are hair drops. There's shampoos and conditioners. There's oils that you can use on your scalp. There is, scalp treatments. There's a lot of different things, and you want to treat these things as soon as possible, because the sooner you treat them, the more likely you are to restore your hairline. And if you wait longer, you may have take the risk of not being able to restore their hairline at all. So if you are in need of a treatment, if you are experiencing traction alopecia, please feel free to inbox me, DM me. You can like and subscribe because I will be uploading this to YouTube. Feel free to ask me any questions. I don't mind answering it. And if you want me to make a recommendation for products, you can most definitely inbox me if you would like to purchase products. I do have products for purchase as well. I'm running a promo for this particular video for 72 hours. So be sure to reach out to me, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you guys, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.